with my hair. Yeah. Ooh. Oh my goodness. I think my sinus is trying to act up because that weather is changing. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's anyone that is going to jump on. I am live this evening, and it is 2:30 on the East Coast. It is 2:30 on the East Coast, and usually I try to go live a little bit later. I'm actually running errands, so I'm not going to be on here long. So I may come back on a little bit later. So I'm just going to wait a little bit to see if one jump on. But again, I may try to come back live later on today. Um, um, for those of you, think about it. For those of you who do not know me, or this is your first time catching a replay, if you happen to come back and catch the replay, my name is Karen Oliver. I am a master life purpose coach and a health and nutrition coach. I am a serial entrepreneur. Um, and not only that, I am an intercessor in many things, working in the kingdom of God. Working for the kingdom of God. I can't talk. This evening, if you read my bio on here, and then it will tell you a little bit more. And if you're following me on LinkedIn, it will tell you more about what I do and who I help. Um, yeah. For those of you who don't know me, I have a podcast as well. That's why I said serial entrepreneur. Hey, everybody coming in. Just tell me where you're tuning in from, and let me know if you can hear me. I didn't realize that there were people on. Let me know if you can hear me. I have my phone propped up. Hey, from India, can you hear me? Okay. Okay, great that you can hear me. Um, get after. Well, I don't know what time zone you all are in. I don't know if you are. Um, yeah, what time zone are you all in India? Let me know. Let me know what part of the world you're tuning. Are you on East Coast time, West Coast time, Pacific time? What is it, Mountain Standard Time? Hey, Sunil. Is it Sunil? Thanks for being your first time on live. How is everybody doing? For those of you who are new, thanks for coming in. I do weekly motivations. My name is Karen Oliver. If this is your first time, someone said that that was your first time, I am a master life purpose coach. I am a health coach, a serial entrepreneur, and I teach all things. To know a little bit more about me, you can subscribe if you have not subscribed. Subscribe to my channel and also follow me here, so you can get every notification. Um, let's see. Yeah. I think I'm gonna add a moderator on my channel, you guys, just to be on the safe side. Um, okay, so I have a moderator on my channel just in case there are people on here that want to act funny. So on my channel, we do not do the craziness. Okay, this channel is strictly for cultivating, inspiring, encouraging, uplifting. Um, we also have fun, but as well, when it's time to be serious, we need to be serious. And so the topic of this live is your next move in detail. And so I feel like that it is a time where we need to get ready for our next move and that we need to be ready for our next move in detail. I feel like, and I feel it so strongly that there are some things that we should really be paying attention to, and that we really should also check our surroundings just to make sure that before we can get to our next move, make sure there's nothing around us that is hindering us, that is hindering our walk, that is hindering our talk. That's not. We got to make sure that things are not hindering our moves, our actions, none of that. And so sometimes we don't realize that there could be some things that, well, it could even be some things that may even be a distraction to you. Um, and you've got to move those things because you don't want anything to be a hindrance for your next move. And so that's why this topic is going into your next move. We all know that we have been in a season of critical times, but we have to remain focused. What I learned just from studying and meditating is that we have to understand that we are going to be in the midst of chaos. We are going to be in the midst of things, but we have to remain focused and we have to know what is called for us to do. Um, we have to keep our eyes focused on um, the purpose of our lives and the things that we need to do to help help and encourage others. So we have to be mindful of how we're moving in this next season. We have to be mindful of how we are caring and for one another. We have to be mindful with the purpose in our hands, because if we're not careful with our purpose, and then it can get taken away and given to somebody else in a blink of an eye. If we're not careful with our gifts or talents, we have to be careful, because those gifts and talents can be taken away and given to someone else. So we got to be mindful of the next move that we're in, and we know, like I said, it can be critical, and it's not easy, but we have to know that when we're going to our next level, when we're going to higher heights and deeper depths, we have to know that we. I'm. Can you guys hear me? I am so sorry. I had a call that came in, so let me know if you can hear me. But as I was sharing, excuse me, as I was saying that we have to be mindful and we have to be careful of even who we talk to, even who we be around. Um, and sometimes it can be people that you may even know or have been associated with, but sometimes that purpose, or that purpose and that next move that you're going to, sometimes certain people can't be in their next move and they can't be in their next phase with you. Um, so we have to be mindful of the things. We're what, less than are we less than 90 days, you all, before 2024? Because I think I said that last week. We're less than 90 days. I want to say, yeah, I think we are. We're less than 90 days, and like I said, it's crunch time. Things are critical. We have seen things and we have been through things, but that should not stop you from moving. And as I was sharing on my social media page on Facebook, I was sharing that we should not be surprised at what we see and what we don't see. It excuse me, it's like it goes both ways. We should not be surprised at what we see or what we don't see, because we know that times is perilous now, and that this is a time out for games. We have to be very, very careful of how we're moving in this next season. We got to be careful of how we're moving in this next season with others, because a lot of people just can't go, you know. So we have to be mindful when we're working, and when we're working in the kingdom, when you're working even um, in your gifts, in your talents, even when you're working professional wise, we have to be careful of how we're moving in those areas, and we want to make sure that we're mindful of what we say and what we do and how we are cultivating our gift and purpose and making sure that we are taking care of it and making sure that we are nurturing it. Um, but again, as I said before, although it's going to be critical, we have to remain focused and we have to remain steadfast and we have to know that whatever was spoken, whatever was said to us, whatever was spoken over your life, you have to know that it is going to come to pass. But we have to make sure that we do the work. The work is not going to be easy. Um, and even in the next move, you could go through stages to where it could be a little bit more critical. There could be a season where you could be in different stages where it can be critical, it could be difficult, or it can be easy, or it can be smooth. It just depends on what stage you are at in your season and when you're moving in detail. And we have to make sure too that we have an ear to hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying to the church. We have to make sure that we have an ear to hear of instructions, because all I kept talking about it, all I kept hearing this morning as I was studying is that we have to make sure that we have to make sure that we're guided, and we have to make sure that we're led by instructions. We have to make sure that we are led by instruction. And we have to make sure that we listen to those instructions carefully. And we got to make sure that we do those instructions carefully. So I just wanted to share this with you all. Again, I may come back on later on and just talk more about what we will be discussing. Well, as we are discussing our next move and as we're discussing weekly motivation, I just want to remind you all to be encouraged. To be encouraged. There are uh, conversations that you're going to have, and I've shared this before, that it's not going to be so easy. There's things that you're going to have to do that's not going to be so easy, but it's going to be well worth it because it is cultivating your gift, it's cultivating your purpose, it's all for your purpose. So just be mindful. But I will try to come back on live later this evening around 7 p.m. Um, on the East Coast, perhaps. I'm sorry, not 7 p.m. because 7 p.m. is youth Bible study night for our kids. So it will more than likely maybe 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast if I do come back live later on tonight. But we will be talking more and discussing more about the next move in our lives on this weekly motivation. So thank you all for tuning in. If you have any questions for me or you would like to sign up for coaching or mentor sessions, or you just want to have a consultation, there is ways to get in touch with me. The link is below and email is below. So I hope you all have a great Monday, and I will talk to you soon.